So the secret to tapping into endless energy is to tap into your flow state and to respect when you're not in your flow state. Let's unpack it. Go back to and think when you were a child. You weren't feeling well. You got up and you said to your mom, you said, "I don't feel well. I'm not going to go to school today." And you pumped her full of reasons why that was the case. And then she reminded you, "Oh, today's Saturday, silly." And you stop and you think, "Oh no, I just committed to staying in bed all day." But you realize that had you known today was Saturday, you would not have felt that sick at all. The motivation from which you were speaking was largely from your head. So that if you did feel bad, you had a sore throat, you felt a little bit congested, it wasn't going to slow you down because you had purpose, you had plans. And B.F. Skinner says that depression is simply the inability to construct a future. If you have your plans, you're in your flow state. That's how you have energy. You can turn the rest of the video off. No, please don't. We're not done yet. So that's one example. Another is how you felt when you knew Santa was coming. You stayed awake all night. Every other night of the year, you were dead tired by 8:30. And if you're a kid, you have that unique ability to go to bed at 8:30 and lay in bed. Not 5 minutes later, you're going to bed. You're asleep, and even a fire alarm can't wake you up. Your mom has to come in there and pick you up. Your dad has to come in there and pick you up. That's how it was with me. That doesn't happen as an adult anymore. But the point is, that angst, that expectation, that energy, that's what taps you into where you need to be. You have that awesome, inexhaustible source of energy as a kid, but you just don't know the source of it. And even as you get on in life, you think that the source is medication or getting old and getting tired, therefore you've got to compensate. It has nothing to do with that. All it is a mindset. You see it, you're walking along, you see a snake in the grass. What happens? Your day is ordinary, you don't plan on doing anything, but when you see that snake, you jump 3-4 feet in the air and you're ready for anything. If you were in pain, if you were sore, you don't feel it because your brain decided, hey, your primal brain said it's time to react. We don't have a time for anything else. But then you look back at the snake and you realize the snake is not a snake at all. It's a garden hose and you forgot to put it away. So what's the rest of you going to do? You have all that energy for the next 3 hours, 4 hours, and gradually it starts coming back down. But when you're tapped into the right mindset, your energy level changes. Every guy watching this video will relate to what I'm about to say about bench pressing. Guys get together in groups and on a subconscious level, they're trying to impress each other. And ladies see this and they kind of laugh about it. But a guy can go to the gym and may only be able to bench 150 pounds. When he's with other guys, he can bench 175 because he's got somebody else on the other end to hold the bar so the weight doesn't get stuck on his chest. But it's a mindset thing. And I've noticed this many times. You go with a workout partner, you feel really, really good because now you can get into it and nothing's going to hold you back. And that guy's going to be going, come on, come on, come on. You can do this. You got this. And he's going to be holding the bar. Now that sounds a little bit silly, but it's a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. All you're doing is tapping into the right mindset. I wanted to impress this girl named Dina one time. Pretty blonde-haired girl, and we went to Judson together in freshman year of high school. She was impressed by track runners. And here I was, I liked eating Cheetos and sitting on the couch and watching Transformers. I wanted to impress her so much, I went out and ran track with the other kids, even though I wasn't there. And all these kids looked at me and said, "You're not in track." And I was like, "Well, I am today." So I went and ran arguably close to the speed of some of these guys without any training because I wanted to impress this girl. And I went back in the locker room when she wasn't looking and went because I was dead tired and nearly fell over, but I didn't show it because I so wanted to impress this girl. And I got what I wanted. She went up and we held hands the rest of that day. Memories. And it was no different than going around with this Jewish kid that I knew. This Jewish kid that used to follow me around because I was one of the few guys who could bench over 200 pounds. Well, within a year, he so wanted to pass me by that he was benching 275 and I was still stuck at 225. Mental energy. When you learn to summon mental energy, you have more energy than you can know what to do with. So it's not about age. It's not about health problems. And I'm not minimizing health problems. If you have something like leukemia or low thyroid, yes, it will generally suck out your energy. But as long as you are tending to it and you are nursing your body's ability to stay in that zone. For instance, you don't want to overextend, you don't want to stay in a hyper state all the time. That's how you end up with adrenal fatigue, you end up wiped out. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is sleep well, maintain a good 1 meal a day or constructive fasting regimen, and stay optimized. And if you're not doing that, that's another matter. So I'm not talking about health conditions. I'm not talking about issues that may be beyond that. But ultimately, if you're going through the day and you're feeling low, and most of us are, it's because you haven't respected your baseline. And I'm going to talk about that now. Respecting your baseline means when you get up in the morning, you shouldn't expect to have tons of energy every day. If you have a big project planned at work, you should. You should get up 3 hours early, 4 hours early, sit there with your coffee, meditate, contemplate the meaning of life, take a cold shower maybe, do something that's going to put you into super duper high gear. And then go over your mental routines. Go in the mirror and look at yourself. It sounds cheesy, I know, but say, hey, I got this. Sounds ridiculous, but you're saying that means that your body follows. Body follows the mind, mind follows the body. I've said it 10,000 times on this channel. Those are the days you call upon your energy. Knowing when to call upon it and when to respect your baseline is the best way to go about it. If you all the time expect to be happy, and really what we're talking about here with energy, endless energy and lack thereof and depression, it's really the same topic. It's really low-level depression, and there's a lot of Buddhist perspective on this. When you're not motivated, you're just depressed. It's a connection with your energy because you're mistaken on what it means to have too much or not enough energy. Do you see the difference? Do you see how that works with your life? You respect the fact that you get up every day and you don't have the energy you want. You feel okay. You just kind of look around and sit around and go on the couch and drink your coffee and wait until the time comes you have to get in the shower and get dressed. What do? You respect those times. You don't go around and say, I've always got energy, the way an 8-year-old does. Yeah, an 8-year-old can go around and not expect any problems because they're 8. Their body doesn't require really any calories, except when they're in a growth phase. And all of the real problems that they have are stubbing their toe, getting a rope burn on their foot because they're playing tug-of-war with their friends. Don't be unrealistic about your expectations. So if you want endless energy, just tap into your flow state. And your flow state is that state where things are optimized. So let's say you're going through your day and you're feeling crappy, you need energy. Go to a flight of stairs instead of taking the elevator. Go to a flight of stairs and pretend you're going to impress a girl. And run up those stairs as fast as you safely can. And you're going to find that if it's just 2 flights, you're going to have energy when you get to the top that you didn't know you had. And that energy is going to follow you about 15 to 20 more minutes. Rinse and repeat. Do the same thing. Pretend you're impressing someone because it has a psychological effect of putting you in that zone. And that zone is your flow state. I do my best chess games when I am playing a real person. When I play a computer, even on a lower level, I don't play good at all. When I play too many games, I start to play worse because I don't take the game as seriously. And as a result, my gameplay suffers because I know there's nothing on the table. There's nothing to win or lose. I don't gain anything out of it. The ROI is too low. So why the hell should I care? But when it matters, when I want to look good, when I want to shine on, I start to perform better. That's tapping into your flow state. When you have a creative purpose, and you say, I need to build a good company website. I need to optimize my business. Well, now you're in your flow state. You don't need motivation to do that, which is why you go to work and you struggle because you're not operating out of your flow state. So you don't have energy for work. You might work as a stocker for a grocery provider and say, this is only on the way to get something bigger. But you can do the same thing. You can call upon endless energy by tapping into that state and saying, here, if I have the best day here, I'm going to have the best day later. So even though I'm not doing what I want to do, I can do it. So you get up and you say, tomorrow is going to be a good day. Don't confuse this with planning. You're not planning. You're not making a checklist. What you're doing is you're calling upon your strength. You're calling upon your flow state for a purpose. Don't overuse it and don't underuse it. This is why if you think you're depressed, you're really not. If you think you're down in the dumps, you're really not. It's all in the mind. You can all change it, just like you could when you were a kid and you realized it was Saturday and not Friday. You didn't need to make a longer weekend because you were at the weekend already. You just forgot. Now, all of a sudden, what was a health problem is nothing. It's not even really an inconvenience because your brain has changed thinking. Just like with the snake, just like all the analogies I've made here. I'm rambling at this point, but you've always had the power. You always have the energy you want. And no, you don't need to take Prozac. You don't need to take any drug. All you need to do is respect yourself in and out of the flow state. If you nurse that, if you milk that, if you know when to engage and when to back off, you're not going to have any trouble. You're going to have all the energy you need. It's all in the mind.